AmeriHealth Caritas, a DC managed care company that seeks to help people get care, stay well, and build healthy communities, with a special concern for those who are poor, has a dynamic market president, Karen Dale, who I'm so excited to have with us today. Welcome to WIN TV, Karen.
Thank you so much.
So I said dynamic, but tell me, what is your role there at AmeriHealth Caritas, and how long have you been working there?
We are proud to have celebrated a decade of service to the approximately 128,000 district residents that we serve. And each of them we view as important. We view their preferences, their desires, and how we support them as paramount. And my job, I believe I have the best job. It's one of service, which fits in wonderfully with my purpose. I have a great executive team and nearly 200 associates who every day ensure that they're creating the best possibility for our district residents that we serve to achieve health, wellness, and well-being. So we don't want people to just have the minimum. We aim to be more than a healthcare insurer. We want to be that partner in health for who we serve. So we listen deeply to who we serve. We think about what is the best way to design things for these human beings who want to be healthy. And we focus on the assets and how we can be helpful, not in really a deficit-based way, right? Community is powerful. Community is powerful. And health happens in community, not just in doctors' offices. So we are working to create the proper ecosystem for health to happen in ways that create health and well-being.
So, about how many district residents are on the rolls with AmeriHealth Caritas?
About 128,000.
Wow. Okay. And I know that part of you being with us today is making sure that they stay there, and so there's some work that they need to do to make sure that they continue to have the ongoing coverage. Can you talk to us about the issue with Medicaid and need to re-enroll?
Sure. So my headline that I'll say at the beginning and at the end is to act with a sense of urgency. So for the first time in 3 years, district residents whose insurance is Medicaid have to recertify for their eligibility. And that's because during the pandemic, as a nation, we didn't want people to not have the insurance they need. So people must recertify if their insurance is Medicaid. And why is that important? It's important because healthcare coverage prevents financial ruin, and it gives you the opportunity to have important things covered. Things such as if you're pregnant, if you've been diagnosed with a chronic disease, if you need medication, tests, diagnostic tests, all of those things are important to have covered because they're expensive to pay for out of pocket. So having insurance helps with that. It's equally important that you have insurance to cover preventive visits, things like an annual physical, eye exams, certain tests that are important like mammograms, all those things, right? We want to be sure that you're also preventing health and disease or having things detected as early as possible. So having your insurance should be top of your list. I'm talking like today, add it to your to-do list to make sure you stay certified. And it's a pretty easy process. Really proud of how the district has moved into using technology in a way that makes it easy to fit into our lives. So the first step is to go to districtdirect.dc.gov, districtdirect.dc.gov, which is on the screen, and make sure that if you haven't signed up already, create an account and update your information. We still do send some stuff out via snail mail, and so we want to be sure we're getting things to the right address. But you want to be sure that we always have your right information because there are other things that might come to you, like your ID card, etc. So we want people to sign up, create an account, and update your information, and do it today. Put it at the top of your to-do list because having insurance coverage is so important. I worry sometimes about the person who is quite ill and getting a lot of care right now, who may find out for the first time that they've fallen off because they did
Mm.
not go and renew their eligibility when they show up at the pharmacy to get their medication, right? And so just go ahead and log into districtdirect.dc.gov so that you can get the information and sign up. So the other thing is sometimes people don't do that because they're saying, well, something has changed for me. I no longer, have this many children at home, or I now have a different job and maybe I get paid more. The good thing is the district has always prioritized having as many people covered. And so still go to the site, fill in all the information, because if you don't qualify for Medicaid, you might qualify for something else. We have a great exchange in the district. So the marketplace has plans that are as low as maybe $10 a month, and they still
Wow.
provide a lot of coverage for the things that you need. So don't put it off. Don't make excuses. Don't say, oh, I'm sure I don't qualify. Go to districtdirect.dc.gov, fill everything out, create an account, update your information, and get the process started to make sure that you have insurance coverage.
So because of the urgency of this, I'm tempted to ask you what the deadline is, but I don't want to ask you that because you said today.
Yes.
And so I think it's what's most important is those that hear this conversation recognize that while they're listening, they need to do it now. I know there's a
Yes.
deadline, but we're not going to talk about that right now. I know you all have been doing a lot of advertising and publicity and trying to get that out. And that's up to you if you really want to give it. But I think the most important time frame is to do it today.
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, you all have the Enrollee Wellness Opportunity Center. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that helps district residents?
Certainly, I'm glad you asked. So we've always had a wellness center. We closed our old one and opened a new one. It's located at 1209 Good Hope Road Southeast, so it's not far from where our previous one was. And it's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6. We offer a whole host of services. We have classes in yoga, aerobics, cooking classes. We also have classes around improving your finances, helping you to write a resume. Because again, what I said earlier is so important. We're not just a health plan. We want to be the plan that is more than focused on healthcare. How do we help you get the support you need in your life as a whole? All classes are free. We make a real effort to offer classes in English, Amharic, and Spanish because we recognize the rich diversity of our city and our 128,000 members. We have a kids corner so that we are family friendly. Kids can come and be there as well because sometimes that acts as a barrier, right? I can't go take this class for my health and well-being because I don't have a babysitter. So people are certainly encouraged to bring their children. There's places where they can play and do things, and it's a very open area so the parents can see them as well. So our Wellness and Opportunity Center, it's great, it's nice and new. And if you want to learn more about the classes that we have or sign up for a class, you can go right to our website. It's AmeriHealth Caritas DC.com. AmeriHealth Caritas DC.com. And it's right on our homepage. You'll see the link to go to get more information about our Wellness and Opportunity Center.
Before you go, and I just want to say that, it seems like it was just yesterday when city officials, but mostly residents, were, really sort of up in arms because there wasn't sort of neighborhood-based health centers. You had to, especially east of the river, right? Folks had to go across town. The access was limited, and you've been here for a while, kind of in that fight, making sure that we did make healthcare services accessible, even to our poorest or most needy residents. And here we are now. You're on 12th and Good Hope Road. You're like in the heart of where services are needed. If you drive up and down the area, people talk about gentrification, but there's still a lot of indigenous, residents of this community who've been here for a long time and never had this kind of access. Are you finding that the community is really responding? Because again, you can take a horse or you can plant something there, but a lot of times people may not access what's even there. Are you finding that they're coming through your doors?
They are. And one of the things that we offer there that I should have mentioned is walk-in services. So you could call customer service and get help by phone. However, you can also drop in and you don't have to have an appointment so that you can speak with a care coach or a care connector if you need help navigating the healthcare delivery system. We also can do some of the same services that you would call the customer service person to do, right? So you can change your provider or get other information. And yes, we find that people do come in, and word of mouth is so powerful in our community. So when someone comes in and has an awesome experience, they're more likely to tell someone else. And in that way, we have things grow. We offer safe sleep classes. So there's lots of things, and we're always listening to figure out what else is important to the community so that we're responsive.
And Leslie, only because I think we all share the same concern, and that is, I mean, if you look at every statistic there is about, anything dealing with um, healthcare and the impact on the Black community, especially. I mean, we're kind of at the highest or the lowest of extreme of any issue: breast cancer, prostate cancer, high blood pressure, what have you. What is AmeriHealth Caritas goal? What would you all like to see? I'm sure you have a mission statement or something that says, this is what we would like to see happen with residents of the District of Columbia.
Sure. So the wonderful thing about being in the District of Columbia and being an insurer, we have the second highest level of coverage in the United States. The first is Massachusetts. We have had an investment over 2.5 decades in making sure that people have the coverage they need. What we have to work on is the whole social care system and how that intersects with the medical system. Medical systems for way too long have stood by themselves, right?
Right.
So much more of where health happens is not in the doctor's office. It happens in our communities. And so being in the community with our Wellness and Opportunity Center, having an amazing, and I do mean an amazing list of partners who help us in community and bring services to people versus expecting them to come to us is like the most important thing that we have focused on and made a lot of improvement around. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of reviewing our results, independently reviewed by a company that does great statistical work to understand how social interventions are working, to see that things that we've done, such as meal delivery, so the meals are delivered right to someone's home when they're
Mhm.
facing food insecurity or when they are working on getting healthier in a condition with a condition they might have, like high blood pressure or diabetes. The results show that our investment was more than worth it. It has helped people to be healthier and maintain being healthy. We have our wellness circles that we've been doing for more than a decade, right?
Mhm.
Where at a community level, held right in the community, are these discussions that say, let's not be judgy. Let's have a conversation about what it will take for you to either lose the weight, to move more, to take your medications in the way that helps support your health. So our whole orientation, and which I will continue to have us, push to do, is to go to the community, listen deeply, and support people in community. Let's stop having people need to come someplace else, right?
Right,
Let's
right.
be where they are and be there listening and supporting and engaging. And we recognize with a lot of humility that we are not going to be the answer to everything. So the partnerships that we have, and they're truly partnerships with all these other organizations that have the trust of the community, have been doing great work for a long time. Together, we are making great strides.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being with us today and sharing this valuable information. And we enjoy being, to the extent that we are a partner in making DC the healthiest place in the world. So thank you so very much for being with us.
Oh, I appreciate you so much because you all help to get the word out through all the articles that you provide around health and well-being. So